We live in an era of information saturation. From the moment we wake to the time we sleep, we are bombarded with messages. These messages come from countless sources: news outlets, social media, advertisements, and even casual conversations. What we often fail to realize is that many of these messages are not neutral. They are carefully crafted to shape our perceptions, influence our decisions, and ultimately, control our behavior. This is the insidious world of engineered reality where psychological operations, or SCOPs, reign supreme. Governments and powerful institutions have long used them to sway public opinion and advance their agendas. With the rise of the internet and social media, it has become easier than ever to spread misinformation, manipulate emotions, and sow discord among the masses. This essay aims to expose the tactics used in engineered reality and to equip you, the reader, with the tools to recognize and resist them. When we become aware of the forces that seek to control us, we can begin to think critically, question narratives, and make informed decisions that align with our own values and interests. To navigate the treacherous landscape of engineered reality, we need a compass. The FATE model stands for focus, authority, tribe, and emotion. By understanding these elements, we can see through manipulation. Focus. Our attention is a precious resource. Authority. Trust in experts can be exploited. Tribe. We are divided to control us. Emotion. Charged emotions impair thinking. The FATE model provides a basic understanding of how SCOPs operate, but the toolbox of manipulation is vast and ever-evolving. Let's explore some additional tactics used to engineer reality. Novelty. Our brains are wired to pay attention to novelty. This is why unexpected events, crises, or revelations capture our attention so effectively. SCOPs exploit this by manufacturing newsworthy events or by hyping up existing ones. Always question the timing and purpose of these events. Centralized narratives and echo chambers. When the same talking points and narratives are repeated ad nauseum across multiple media outlets, it is a red flag. This is a sign that a centralized narrative is being pushed, often with the goal of suppressing dissent and promoting a particular agenda. Cognitive dissonance weapons. This tactic involves using small, seemingly insignificant agreements or micro-agreements to gradually shift someone's beliefs and values. By getting people to comply with small requests, SCOPs can then leverage these micro-agreements to elicit larger, more significant forms of compliance down the line. Exploiting ancestral scripts. Deep within our psyche lie primal fears and instincts that have ensured our survival as a species. SCOPs tap into these ancestral scripts by crafting messages that trigger our fear of scarcity, social rejection, or threats to our offspring. These messages bypass our rational minds and tap into our deepest fears, making us more likely to act impulsively and against our own best interests. Shifting context, normalizing emergencies. This insidious tactic involves gradually normalizing behaviors and policies that were once considered unacceptable. By framing these behaviors as necessary responses to emergencies or threats, SCOPs can erode civil liberties and expand their control over the population. Archetypes. SCOPs simplify complex issues by reducing them to simplistic narratives populated by heroes, villains, and victims. This makes it easier for people to digest information, but it also prevents them from engaging with nuance and complexity. Information suppression. This can take many forms, from censoring dissenting voices to burying important stories beneath a mountain of irrelevant content. Logical fallacies are flawed arguments that often appear sound on the surface. They are a favorite tool of propagandists and manipulators because they can be used to mislead people into accepting false conclusions. Here are some common logical fallacies to watch out for. Straw man, misrepresenting someone's argument to make it easier to attack. Bandwagon, arguing that something must be true because many people believe it. False dilemma, presenting only two options when more possibilities exist. Ad hominem, attacking the person making the argument instead of the argument itself. Appeal to authority, claiming that something must be true because an authority figure said so. Slippery slope, arguing that a small action will inevitably lead to a series of negative consequences. By familiarizing ourselves with these logical fallacies, We can learn to spot them in everyday discourse and avoid being misled by them. In the age of engineered reality, critical thinking is not just a valuable skill, it is an essential survival tool. It is the ability to think clearly and rationally, to question assumptions, and to evaluate information objectively. Here are some key principles of critical thinking. Question everything. Do not accept information at face value, even if it comes from a trusted source. Seek evidence. Look for evidence to support claims, and be wary of information that lacks credible sources. Consider multiple perspectives. Be open to different viewpoints, even those that challenge your own. Be aware of your biases. We all have biases, both conscious and unconscious. Recognize your own biases and how they might influence your thinking. Be willing to change your mind. Be open to changing your mind when presented with new information or perspectives. Think independently. Do not let others do your thinking for you. The consequences of blindly accepting engineered reality are far-reaching and profound. On an individual level, it can lead to poor decision-making, anxiety, fear, and a diminished sense of agency. On a societal level, unquestioning compliance can erode trust in institutions, exacerbate social divisions, and undermine democratic values. We become a society easily manipulated, divided against itself, and ultimately, controlled by those who hold the reins of information. Our individual and collective well-being depends on our ability to recognize and resist the forces that seek to control us. The antidote to engineered reality is media literacy. Media literacy is the ability to access, analyze, evaluate, and create media in a variety of forms. It is about understanding how media messages are constructed, what their purpose is, and how they influence our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. Here are some tips for cultivating media literacy. Diversify your information diet. Consume information from a variety of sources, including those that challenge your existing beliefs. Be critical of headlines and social media posts. Headlines and social media posts are often designed to be attention-grabbing, not accurate. Fact-check information. Don't blindly trust information you see online. Verify information using reputable fact-checking websites. Be aware of algorithmic bias. Social media platforms and search engines use algorithms to personalize your online experience. This can create filter bubbles where you are only exposed to information that confirms your existing biases. As technology continues to evolve at an unprecedented pace, so too will the tactics of engineered reality. Artificial intelligence, deepfakes, and other emerging technologies have the potential to create even more sophisticated and persuasive forms of manipulation. In this brave new world, it will become increasingly difficult to distinguish between reality and simulation. The line between information and entertainment will continue to blur, making it even harder to discern truth from fiction. The future of engineered reality may seem bleak, but it is not without hope. By cultivating critical thinking skills, embracing media literacy, and fostering a healthy skepticism towards information, we can reclaim our agency and navigate the complexities of the digital age with wisdom and discernment. The world of engineered reality is a complex and constantly evolving landscape. It is a world where our perceptions are manipulated, our emotions are exploited, and our behaviors are controlled. But it is not a world without hope. We have the power to resist, to think critically, and to make informed decisions that align with our own values and interests. We must become active consumers of information, questioning narratives, seeking evidence, and challenging authority. The battle for our minds is raging, but it is a battle we can win. By embracing critical thinking, cultivating media literacy, and fostering a healthy skepticism, we can become guardians of our own minds and architects of our own realities.